Is it recording? Welcome back.
Yes.
Welcome back to another episode. Woo! Season 12 or episode 12, season 1.
Season
We're
12.
wrapping up the season with this episode. My name is Joseph Kim.
I'm Suzie Lee.
I'm Matthew Bae.
Yeah, and welcome back to the podcast. If you're listening, this episode will wrap up season 1, like we've been mentioning in the couple of previous episodes. And yeah, I mean,
episodes.
it's been I think we've been up with a weekly schedule, like we've been posting every week, but this one is a little late. Sorry, because just schedule conflicts. We didn't have time to record, but
Some of us are very busy.
hope you guys didn't miss us too much.
Extracurricular activities.
How have you guys been? Middle of July now.
Oh my gosh.
Time
Suzie should go
flies.
first. I feel like you've been living right now.
Yeah, you got
You've been doing the most.
a lot of stuff going on.
There is a lot of stuff going on. I feel like, well, first of all, I have a tournament coming up, and actually, like,
Plug it.
yeah.
Hurry up.
Yeah, sleep throws on Twitch, everyone.
No.
No, but it's this coming Saturday, Sunday, but we've been practicing so much for that. And like it's just kind of stressful to like schedule it with everyone because I'm the captain for my team.
Oh,
So I'm the one to like, hey
How did that
guys, we're
happen?
gonna practice. Like the host asked me if I
Oh,
wanted
that's cool.
to be a captain.
Wait, that's dope.
Yeah. And I was like, I guess I'll be doing like post-game interviews and stuff.
For real?
Yeah, and I'm freaking camera shy, dude. So I'm so nervous.
You're not camera shy. You're camera aware.
Or like also I'm just like not good at like answering impulsive questions like that.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I've been doing that, and also I'm still translating, still working out, but then my car broke down, so like it's just freaking so much like inconvenience in my life. Like I'm walking to the gym and walking by, which takes like like literally like 40 minutes
Oh yeah.
out of my day, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there no bus?
Well,
Is there no bus?
I should try that. But I'm getting my car fixed today. So if I get a call in the middle of this recording, I have to answer it. Because they're gonna tell me how much my car is gonna be. But
Okay.
yeah, I've been pretty busy.
Hmm.
That's What about you guys?
I had I went to a church retreat
Hey.
this past weekend. So that was fun. It was nice. My church always does it every year, and that was like a really good time to just kind of get away and hang out with my friends and just enjoy their company. So that was cool. It was it was a chill time. It was very nostalgic because we go to I think I mentioned the same place every year. So when I went back, I was like, wow, so like it's so familiar. It was cool.
Do you usually go every
some
summer, or is this like your first time in a while?
This is my first time in like a long time. I want to say over 5-6 years. But I used to go all the time with my family when we were kids. So like I'm very familiar with the location and everything. Yeah, some kid called me fat.
What the
I should have beat him up on the
Yeah,
spot.
drop kick
Did
real
you
quick.
wait? Did you go as like an assistant, or were you like part of the?
No, I plan on never being a leader of a church for a while.
You went as a
Okay.
participant.
No, I simply went as a member. I think it was actually weird because that's a good point since you brought up, because like obviously every retreat that I've led up for the past 4 years I've been a leader or like a large part of it in some way.
Mm.
And like this was the first time in a long time that like
Mm.
I didn't have to worry about anything. I had to worry about food, logistics, lights, music, the sound, the recording. I didn't have to worry about anything.
It's a good feeling.
But it was a good, but it was kind of an anxious feeling. I was like, wait, am I supposed to be doing something right now? Like, I remember I was sitting there like praying, and then I like thought to myself, oh shoot, do I have to do? Am I like missing something right now? And then it went to me. I was like, oh no, I'm just here to
No,
chill.
I can just chill.
Yeah. So then after that, I kind of just like let go. I was just like, whatever, I'll just do whatever I want. And then that was cool. But yeah, that's all I did. And then I've been obviously working on like applying for jobs, doing certificates, working out very consistently. Having a gym is so nice. You can do so many more things, like all the machines and everything.
Yeah.
So that's been my life thus far. Yeah.
Um,
Joseph?
I don't know. I feel like mine's kind of boring. I just have classes in the morning,
Mm,
work at night. Usually weekends I'll meet up with either high school or college friends that are here in Korea. Um, or spend time with family.
mm,
I have a midterm tomorrow. Woo!
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, been studying all day today. But
Isn't there no right
usually
answer?
it's like there's like what they're looking for. I mean, like
Oh,
the whole class is based off other people's arguments, so I have to know the way they answered a question, if you know what I mean. So that's
Mm,
like, and then you learn based off that. So I have to know what other people said, basically. So
mm.
been studying that. Um, Interesting stuff though. A lot of like, does God exist and stuff like that. So very compelling stuff
yeah.
for me. But yeah, other than that, I've been trying to work out every day at least. And yeah, other than that, I'm just like looking for a house because if you know, some of you know, I like need to find a place to live next year. So that's also been on my agenda. But yeah, we're getting there.
Oh,
You
Chelsea's
better.
comfortable.
It is what it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
Chelsea sidewalks are pretty comfortable.
Yeah,
I see,
Yeah.
I mean,
I see some
yeah.
people these days.
I heard
sleep
Chipotle
there.
bench is all right. You know. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Mm.
I believe we'll find a place somewhere somehow.
Somebody will drop last minute. They'll be like,
Yeah. No, there's already a
yeah.
lot of people dropping, so I'm not
Yeah,
like
you'll find something.
extremely worried. I'm just like kind of hoping there's like a good enough place that I want. That's not.
Adam has a single. You can
Yeah,
just
I can just
chill. You can just chill with him.
chill with Adam.
Yeah.
But yeah, but some
Mm.
things you guys don't have to worry about, huh? Not going back. Well, I guess except for Susie, but you don't have to worry about going
Susie's
No,
been
back.
there.
I already found the place.
Yeah, she's already got it sorted. So
You should have looked earlier.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
That's like
I really wanted to. Like the first thing on my mind going back was like I need to find a place to be at for the next couple of years. But then because of some things and situation, I couldn't commit. But I found out like early July I could start. So a little late, but it's all right. Speaking
Okay.
of college,
We'll get
though, or speaking of life so far, I think to wrap up this episode, we were kind of thinking of things what we could, end on. Well, it's not really an end to anything, really, but we thought it'd be a good idea to maybe talk about some highs and low points in our life, just so that we end on a note about ourselves, so that you guys as the listeners could know more about us going into more episodes of SUJOBAE. So the question is, I guess we can start with highs, or would starting with lows be better?
I mean, actually, just to give a preference, I think we've touched on this in like a more earlier episode. I think we've done highs and lows of college, and then also like some advice we had to give for college. But I think for us, like we're kind of generalizing more to like life, so maybe not just condensed within college, and also like it's interesting to see how much it changed. Maybe some new highs or new lows appeared in our lives after these past few months. So it might be interesting to see how it changed. So like, yeah, if you guys feel like this is redundant, it is. But I think we're trying to give a spin on it a little bit.
Welcome to us.
Yeah, I know. So
we can start with life though, like in general.
Life, okay.
Up until like right now, this very moment, and since you could ever remember, what was the biggest high you've had? Like, oh my God, this is the greatest moment in my life kind of moment. Like, it doesn't have to be revelational. It can be, I don't know, as weird as it may be, but just something you felt like this is like the highest point in my life.
Suzie, you want to go or should I go?
I'm trying to think, like, because nothing really like stands out as like a highest point, I feel like. But
you can give a couple. You can give a couple.
Yeah.
I was gonna give like two. So, yeah.
Okay. You can go for it.
Well, I'll go for it. Okay. Well, my first high point of my life thus far is actually graduating college. I felt like for me, like that was a huge thing because I think like I'm not, as I think I mentioned before, I'm not very academically inclined. Like I'm not good at studying. I'm not good at like school, I would say. I like struggled a lot every year, every semester, trying to like pass classes or like pass it in a way that I like that like to my standard, right? I didn't want to just get like a C and then get out. I wanted to get a high, B at least, or A, whatever. And I wanted to graduate like that. So, but it was very difficult for me to do that. And because a lot of other distractions and other things. But I would say, yeah, graduating college was a huge, like, I did it moment. Kind of like, okay, like I passed these last 4 years and there wasn't like a waste necessarily. So I think that was a big one for me. I think I remember being very, very relieved and like very at peace when I graduated. It was a very just like weight off my shoulder kind of thing. So that was a high point.
Yeah, I can't relate.
Yeah. and then a low point, like a high point, but like on a lower scale, I would feel like. I remember in a hockey game a long time ago, I got called up for varsity, and like I was playing a lot because I was not bad at the time, so I was playing a lot, and I made a bad play the shift before the shift before, and I went onto the bench, and my coach like cussed me out. He was like, "This is why you suck. This is why you'll be on JV for your whole life. Nobody likes you," kind of like that, right? And like no one cares about you. He kind of went on that whole spiel. And then I got mad. And then I remember I made a really good play the next play, and then I scored our only goal in the game. And we won the game versus it was our rival team. And I was playing for varsity, and we won. And then we won because I scored that goal. And then I went on the bench, and then my coach that cussed me out was like, "See, that's what I'm talking about." Like, he was like, "I knew you could do that." And I was like, okay. So that was like a high point of my life, just like kind of proving him wrong, and then scoring a goal on varsity when I was called up against a rival team. That was like that was a big moment for me. Yeah. I still remember the play, but I won't explain it because I don't think anyone would understand.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be.
None of us play hockey,
so I
360 no scope.
No, I didn't do that. Didn't happen.
I can go, but I don't like. I don't think it's like an achievement for me. I think this is like one of like my happiest moments, I guess.
Doing a podcast.
Hey.
Oh, okay. No. I'll also talk about two, but one of them, I think one of the like best times of my life was whenever I went to New York with my sister for Christmas. So like we go on trips a lot together, and our favorite like place to go is New York. And this was our first time going during like Christmas time. And it was perfect because it like snowed and like everything was just like Christmas themed, and I love Christmas. So it was just like a lot of, I don't know, and we got to eat like whatever, and it was just really fun. It was like very like good stress reliever because like I think that was like it was like right after finals and stuff too. So it was just really fun. That I remember still, and I feel like I'll remember that for a long time. And I think another like big, I guess like high point is actually my stream, because like whenever I first bought my PC with my stimulus check, it was like I didn't tell my mom first of all, and it was expensive. Like PCs are not cheap.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, like what am I doing? Like why? Like I'm literally buying this just for gaming and stuff. But then I started streaming, and now I like have like actually really enjoy the community that I have right now, and I don't know, it keeps me company sometimes, like whenever I'm bored and stuff too. So I really appreciate, where I've come with the stream as well. So yeah,
it's a big achievement.
Yeah.
I think it's like there's so many streamers, and like the fact that you're growing this quickly and like you're putting into work, I think it's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I won't stop.
We know, don't worry.
Yeah. So,
yeah, it's a big step for sure. Not anyone can stream, so big props.
Yeah.
You gotta have a personality too. Like you gotta have like I think for you, like you enjoy gaming, right? So it's not like a chore for you. It's like you actually just want to game, but you also happen to be just broadcasting it, on a platform.
Except sometimes now it's like, sometimes it actually kind of feels like work. I'm like, oh, I
Well,
have to stream
I feel like it's
tonight.
because you have a tournament coming.
I'm on
up,
the
so you have to,
Discord.
like,
I'm gonna
Forget that.
expose
practice.
Susie
No.
doesn't like this.
Yeah,
All right,
clip this real quick.
Lee fam. she,
she
She's
doesn't.
done.
where's the Discord?
Y'all
No,
are
don't do
working her.
that. Well, actually, I say that on stream sometimes. I'm like,
Oh really? Oh
I
okay.
feel like I'm overworking myself sometimes, and they're like, take
Mm.
a break. They're so nice to me. But yeah.
Want to be that nice?
But yeah.
Get your ass back to work.
Those two are my mine.
Highest points. For me, I think mine's similar to Matt. It's like high school sports. I think the highest point in my life, one of them at least, I have two as well. One of them is in high school, junior year. I was on varsity swim, but I was by no means like the fastest swimmer. But the coaches reveal, they do like blind pick with the coaches on who's going to be the captain for the swim team. And I had like maybe like 15% to like 20% confidence that I might have gotten it. Not only because like I'm not the fastest swimmer, but there's a lot of guys that year. And there was already there's two captains. One's usually a senior and the other one's either a senior or like a younger grade. And I was a junior, so I was like half expecting to get it. But then when they announced that I was going to be captain that year, that was probably like one of my highest moments because first of all, I wasn't expecting it, but to be recognized as a leader in that group was pretty significant, at least for me at that time, because I had moved into a new school for high school and I had been trying to do stuff to get into groups and, make friends and stuff. And it was pretty hard. So for me to get that position amongst those people who've been there forever and who've been, who are a lot faster than me, it felt like an achievement that I didn't expect, but I'm really glad I had. So it was like a big confidence boost in like self-esteem and whatnot either, like too. So that was a big achievement for me. But probably more significantly and probably the highest in my life so far was when I finished my military service. Like building up to it, I think I kind of like try to numb it down by saying, yeah, it's whatever. Like it's only this many months and it's not even going to be that hard and everyone does it anyways. But when you go in, like the mental pressure you have, like staying in the moment and not wanting to like give up is pretty insane. Like I underestimated that a lot. Like the moment you step in, all you want to do is get out. And like no matter how easy the workload is, the fact that you're stuck there, it's kind of like mentally draining. And especially for me to do it in Korea, I think was what made it harder. And for me to finally be done with it, when I stepped out, I couldn't believe it. Like I felt like I was dreaming. You know that feeling when you like finish something and you were looking forward to that day for so long,
like euphoria.
When it finally arrives, like I was like literally like constantly asking my mom, like, is this real? Like, and she was like, yeah, it's real. So yeah, that was definitely the highest moment in my life so far. And probably one I'll cherish forever, just because it's like such a big deal in Korea. But as a guy and as someone who's, I don't know, in the back of my head, I was probably stressed about it without even realizing throughout my whole life, because it's something it's coming. To be done with it was pretty relieving. So
I think you guys will both feel it when you guys graduate too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to graduating.
Getting up there, like putting on the gown, like I think that's like a big moment. Like your name being called. It's a very just like you did it. I'm like, whoa, cool.
Yeah. And it's still a very long time, like it's 2 years. That's so long.
Yeah, it'll come. All right.
I'm glad we all have high points.
At least we have moments in life we can enjoy.
Because I feel like we only talk about the low points, right?
I feel like
with your friends and everything.
Like, gosh dang it.
Yeah.
That day I died or something like that.
Yeah.
But speaking of low points, do you guys have like a low point in your life that
I'd say so.
That you guys are willing to share?
So you go if you got it.
No, I think since we should keep the order.
I think you should just go if you have
No,
it. No, because I need to I need to think about mine a little bit
right
more.
now. To be honest, I have no idea what mine's gonna be because I literally just thought of the question. So
I think for me was sophomore year of
college.
yeah, definitely. Okay, before college, I don't think I've ever really had a low point. Like maybe like family problems, but like
Oh,
that's not
you
my
talked about
personal
this
low.
before.
Yeah, like I feel like before college, I was just like a happy person. I have no problems. But and even like freshman, I feel like I was just like
Freshman year was fun.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sophomore year is when I like hit that point. I feel like everyone kind of goes through the same thing, but it's whenever I hit the wow, I really don't like myself. I don't think I'm good at anything and I'm not good enough for anything, you know, that point. And I was like so mean to myself and I just like hated myself. And I think like I've talked about this in the past I was a stream podcast, but like this is when I went through the whole like, you know, body image problems with like the whole eating disorder thing. And this went on for like almost full year of sophomore year. And I was just not happy, I feel like. And that's like when I might have been like, you know, like skinniest outside appearance. And a lot of people have commented on that too. But like in my head, in my mind, I was going through like probably like the worst time of my life. And like it just like felt so lonely and like I don't know. It was pretty bad. But and also like during that time is like when COVID hit too, I think. I'm pretty sure. Like towards the end. Yeah, it was. So then before I could like recover and like, you know, like heal from my friends, like everyone left. So it was just like it was just lonely. But yeah, I think sophomore year was my lowest point of life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm better now. So
Yeah. I mean that like I think it's important to have a good circle of friends, I think. Very important. Like
we all hit those points, I feel like.
exactly.
You
So we all go through and like and you just like point out what you don't like about yourself and it's just not a fun time.
Episode 4, if you guys don't listen, we talk about all that in more depth.
Yeah, true.
Body image.
we get really So are you done, Susan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I think for me, like my lowest point in life was I think senior year in college. That's kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward for me to say that. Because
that's when we're friends. No, just kidding.
that's when I hung out with you.
Oh, interesting. That's when I came back.
Yeah, no. I think the reason why senior year was the hardest for me was because I think that was the year I finally got the things that weren't working to work, but then everything that I had working failed. And like, does that make sense? Yeah. So I think for the longest time, like I always had like a strong friend group or like a consistent friend group, and then I always had like I think pretty good mental health. Pretty good physical health. I was working out often. I things were working out in terms of there, but then the always thing that was failing was school. I wasn't able to do school well. Like even Cornerstone was going well. Like leadership, I felt very like at peace, low stress, just doing it, going through the motions. But then I think my senior year, the only times that I really hung out with people was when we did the podcast. That was the only times. And then every other time, like I was just by myself. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people assume that I was hanging out all the time because like I'm a big leader in Cornerstone. But finally, I had school working out. I was actually doing well in classes and like very well in classes. But then everything else was just going wrong. Like Cornerstone wasn't going, leadership wasn't going the best for me. I felt very like lonely in Cornerstone. I know, like again, that sounds really weird for people listening, but I felt very lonely. Like it was a point where like I remember in like sophomore and junior year, I always had somebody texting me every day saying, "Hey, come over," or like, "Hey, let's do something. Let's hang out. Let's all watch the basketball game." But then when they left and they graduated my senior year, like that never happened. The only time people would like attempt to hang out with me is if I made the effort first. And I think like as a senior, you're supposed to do that. So I understand that now. But I think at the moment that was very hard for me to do because it felt like I was just like not begging, but I was like searching for people, like hang out with me, talk to me, like be with me. But if I didn't, I remember I didn't talk to anybody for 2 weeks. Nobody texted me. The only times people texted me was when if they needed something or they needed some advice or needed me to do something. And I think that like mentally really screwed me because I would come to Cornerstone events and or like events at like my clubs and they would be like, "Why didn't you reach out? Why aren't you hanging out with me?" And like that like hurt me every time because like I was like, why do I have to keep making the effort? You know? Like I think so like mentally, I think I'll stop there, but like mentally, it was difficult. I think just managing like how I should, because like it like as I'm at the same time I'm saying that no one did anything wrong. Like no one like hurt. You know, no one did anything wrong. It was just me mentally understanding that like this is how it is, and I just have to deal with it. You know, so I think that was difficult for me. So yeah, that was like the hardest time. So like that's why like again one of my high points is graduating, just getting out. I think I was in a bad spot, and now that I'm out, it feels better. So yeah, I think that would be my lowest point in life thus far, and college. I guess the answer is both. Yeah.
That's definitely hard because like it might not be their intentions, but you might like feel like that, you know. And it's not a good feeling to always be the one reaching out, I feel like.
Yeah. It's hard coming to terms with the fact that the roles have switched. Like when you're younger, you expect people to reach out to you. And then when you're expected to reach out, it's like, wait a minute, like I'm not used to this. And that really is
But
stressful.
actually, I think I kind of did that to myself because I led very young. So I started leading as a sophomore.
Right.
Or me and Joseph started leading as a sophomore. And I think automatically as a leader, you're expected to reach out, right? Because you have that status. So I began reaching out very early. And I think that was like just a precedent that I set. Like I said to everyone, like, okay, like Matt is going to reach out. Just wait for him to reach out.
Yeah.
So like, I think I did it to myself, but I think like then I started realizing like this sucks.
You learn to pace yourself.
You have to, it has to be give and take a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that. I guess for me, lowest point, it's not necessarily, I don't think I've really, in my life, in terms of my life, lowest point for me was not in college because I had like that military experience in between. So I had like a little bit of a break from college. And it would be, I guess, too easy for me to say my lowest point was when I was in the military. I think that's just a very unique and different experience and something maybe we can talk about later. Because it's really hard for me to say that that's a low point. It's just a unique experience. But in terms of life, I think the lowest point for me was, I think, junior year / senior year of high school. So upperclassmen of high school. And that's when you like start getting ready for college apps. And you start like looking at your grades and you're like, yeah, my GPA's got to be a little bit higher, or I need to be able to, you know, get these grades by the end of this semester. And you look at your extracurriculars and like your stuff and you're just like, yeah, I need to round out my applications. I need to start writing essays. And you start kind of like, well, at least for me, I started contemplating a lot on who I am as a person. And then it's kind of similar to Suzie. That's when I started, you know, looking at myself in terms of physical appearance as well, like my body image. And I became super self-aware upperclassman of high school. So I started like stressing out if I like broke out in acne. If like, I don't know, I felt like I was gaining weight. I was super stressed out for no reason. Like, and just minor things would tick me off. And I think mentally I was just in a very unstable position because I was like trying to get everything in check and in order for me to get ready to go to college. But at the same time, I was so stressed out with, you know, dealing with senioritis, making sure I score those test scores, and writing out those essays and making sure I present myself in a way where college people could, accept me to their college. And I was so stressed out with that I hit a very low point in my life where it turned back on me, and I was like questioning myself as a person. I was like, am I really qualified? Am I really going to do engineering? Am I really going to, try and stay fit and healthy? Like, what if, I go to college and get freshman 15, like stuff like that. Like, even though it didn't happen yet, I was stressing out, and worrying about the future and stuff like that. As a high school student, I think was probably my lowest point. Like, me now in college, even though I'm like worried about the future, or like I'm unsure on what things are going to be in the future, I'm much more mature about it. And I know like change is natural, like, and I can't force anything into happening it. But I think going to college was my first big step in moving into a new chapter in my life, and I didn't deal with that well. And I hit a pretty low point. So that's when everything kind of spiraled out of control. And then freshman year, luckily, was a good year. Made a lot of friends, had a good time. So I kind of moved on really well. And Cornerstone obviously, helped with that as well. But yeah, for sure, up until now, my lowest point was probably upperclassmen years of high school. But yeah.
That's a tough time because you're like still going through like that hormonal phase as well. And you're
still
you're
having
like
out puberty and stuff like that too.
You're not like an adult, but like you are now like being considered an adult, in a way.
Yeah.
Now you just turned 18 maybe, and like you're going into college, and it's like
it's a big step for some people.
Step.
Like,
so, yeah, it's very natural.
It's their first time out of the
stressed,
country or first time out of the state. It's a big move for some people. I understand that completely.
And like especially going to like colleges where like you might not know many people. I think that was a big thing because a lot of my friends went to colleges where they knew a lot of people already, or they knew a lot of us they were going at the same time, and then that was like they were very chill about it. They're like, well, at least I have friends, right? Like at the lowest point, at least I have friends. But for me, it's like I didn't know anybody.
Yeah,
and I only knew my roommate at the time, and that's it. Like I had no friends beside that, and that was like difficult. That was a very like daunting. So I definitely understand. Like that's a big
And that's also another reason why like I usually don't do anything social media related, even more back then than now. Like back then I just didn't even touch my phone in terms of SNS and like Facebook and stuff like that. But when I was going to college, every single Facebook post was like drop your handle or your tag below and we'll add you to group chats, stuff like that. I was just putting my name everywhere. I was like very anxious. Like I need to have friends
specific
going
example that you can give.
If you're Asian, you're going to Purdue. Put your Snapchat username down below. It's still somewhere down there. And guess who added me to the Snapchat group?
You're welcome.
Suzie Lee.
No, you're welcome.
Do you swim? I know you swim.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
That's so weird. Thinking about like before, I literally stalked everyone.
Yeah. The
That's
first day I met
normal.
Suzie at church, I was like, oh, so that's that girl.
That's the girl.
That's okay.
Big funny story. I don't know if we said this already in the podcast, but that first semester we didn't talk to Suzie.
No.
Like
correction. I didn't talk to you guys.
No.
Whoa.
We did not talk to Suzie.
All right. To be fair, first semester freshman year, Matt and I really didn't talk either.
No, I didn't know.
At least,
Joseph either.
But Matt and I were just like, oh, we're just both guys in freshman year, right? So we just kind of like mutually knew we were there. But I feel like Matt and I like without even talking to each other, we just knew let's not talk to Suzie right now. Like let's just avoid her for as long as we can. Time. Let her be her. She's like she's doing a lot of stuff, and we don't want to get involved. But
I talked to
it's not like she was doing criminal activity.
No, I was just being a freshman girl. But there were oh my god, freshman year. Yeah, but now that I think about it, I'm like, when else would I do that?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, this is a good segue though. If you were to go back freshman year, would you do the exact same thing you did? Like, would you live freshman year a different way if you had the chance?
This can be like a advice to the upcoming freshmen.
Yeah. And then I guess with that, what advice would you have to the incoming freshman to any college, I guess?
Matt can go first since he's already got his answer already.
I would say no. So
No?
my freshman year was a little bit different in the way where I actually came into freshman year in a relationship. So I think the fact that, and this is no knock on her, I'm pretty sure she feels the same way as me, but I think us me going through that long distance, right, going through a relationship in first semester helped us realize, one, how difficult long distance is, and two, how important is it to not maybe get into a relationship that quickly. And I think both of us, we thrived that second semester. So that second semester, when we decided to break up, we both we were rooted in our friend groups. We really found our stride in terms of how we wanted to live college, and then we really did well from there. So I think, my advice for incoming freshmen is, don't date. Now I know that's a very you probably heard that 1,000 times, and but it's real, because I think this is the first time in your life that when you're dating, you're not living at different homes, your different parent, your parents' house. You literally are right next to each other, probably. And you can see them 24 hours every single day if you wanted to. No one's stopping you. And I think you really underestimate how much you get sucked into that. And then you realize that you have one friend, and that's her or him, right? And then you're screwed, kind of, because then, and then not screwed, but then you kind of missing out on a lot. So I would say, because actually, going back, the reason why I didn't talk to Joe or Suzie my first semester freshman year, because one, I was always spending time with her, whether through video call, or I went down to another college. I always I don't know, I spent so much time with her, I couldn't spend time with anyone else. I didn't want to branch out. I actually wanted to transfer out of Purdue to go to the same college as her.
Right.
But, and I think if you're in a relationship, you want to commit to her, right? And it's too hard to commit to anything else. So that's my advice. But like I said, it's hard. And also I know people who dated in, freshman year of college, and everything worked out. It could happen, but it's hard. It's very difficult. And they also told me that they wish they met her or him sophomore year or junior year. So that would be my advice. But I wouldn't change it, because I think I learned, because I'm the type where I need to experience it to learn it. If I just hear it, I'm kind of whatever. But then once I experienced it, I was like, oh shoot, okay. And then voila.
I think for me, it's I don't think I'm about to give a similar advice at all. But I think freshman year is literally the time where, anything's kind of oh, it's okay, they're still freshmen, you won't be looked down upon.
Yes.
Really. It's expected. So I think as long as it's safe, as long as you're safe, and as long as you're not doing some illegal sus
as long as you're not sus.
Yeah, I think you need to. I think you should experience the most. For example, parties and stuff. You're not gonna go to parties as a senior or even a junior. That's weird. That's a freshman thing. I don't think it hurts to go experience it. Or
at least at Purdue. Yeah.
Or And I think just classes are important, but also freshman year, just spend a lot of time talking to a lot of people and finding your own group, because my friend group changed so much from freshman year, and you learn as you meet so many people who you vibe with and what kind of people you want to have around you and stuff. So I advise you to really put yourself out there and talk to a lot of people, because freshman year also, my personality was kind of different, but I would just literally go up to strangers and talk to them. I can't do that anymore. I literally can't do that anymore. And that's a freshman thing. And I think that's the advice I have. One thing.
That's good.
Oh, sorry. What?
Go ahead.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say is if you're in high school, I don't know if anyone would listen if they're in high school, but if you are,
I know there's people listening to high school from my church. So yeah.
Eating alone eating alone in college is not weird. Like
Yeah.
that's completely
That's very true.
No, when
Really
I-
true.
Can I say a quick story really quickly?
Go ahead.
Yes,
Like whenever
please.
I don't know if you guys know this story or not, but whenever I was a freshman, like I like made some friends, whatever, and I was so scared to go eat by myself. Like I thought that was like the most embarrassing thing ever.
Mm.
So all my friends were in class, and I had to eat. So I went, I went to PMU, and I was in a line for and I was looking around, and I saw this person. He looked Korean, so I was
Oh,
like,
I know
"Hey."
this story.
Yeah, I was like,
I
"Hey, are
know,
you
yeah.
Korean?" Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, I am." And I was like, "Are you here by yourself?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you want to eat with me?"
I do remember
And then-
this.
Yeah, and then he was like, yeah, sure, I guess." Which I literally, if someone told me to do that right now, I could never. But we ended up eating, and for me, it was just like, oh, a lunch buddy. But then after, he was like, "Oh, like, can I have your number?" I was like, "Oh," and then he started texting me so much after. So I basically probably let him on. But I was just like, I would have rather done that than like eat by myself. I was so embarrassed. I thought that was like the most embarrassing thing ever to eat,
Mm.
alone. But it's not. It's like completely
It's really not.
And
Because-
honestly, yeah,
yeah.
it's like convenient too. So
Because you gotta go to
Yeah.
class right after, probably.
exactly.
Like the reason why they're eating by themselves is because they know they have 20 minutes. They're just
Yeah,
gonna eat and then get out. Like there's no point in
Yeah.
contacting anybody. But,
exactly.
Eat
So
dinner
that's-
together though.
Yeah. No,
I think
eat with
my-
people, but just like
Yeah.
eating alone is also very normal, is what
Yeah.
I wanted to say. Yeah. Because I didn't know that. I thought it was like a loser move.
With that said, would you do freshman year the same way then?
Oh,
Like, what would you change about living freshman year again?
Honestly, if anything, I would talk to more people, I think. Like I like take advantage of like how everyone's trying to get to know everyone. Because
Mhm.
when you come into college, everyone's just like, "Oh, what's your name? Like, what's your major?" But now we're just like, we all have our own friends, so we don't really do that anymore. But as
Mm.
freshmen, I at least I did that, and I feel like I could have definitely talked to more people and like kept in contact with a lot more people than I did because
Mhm.
I didn't do that. But I think I would keep everything the same, other than just like maybe talking to more people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would live my life more like Suzie.
Yeah. I
Not
bet
the
you.
not the
I bet
sus
you.
part. Not asking people
Yeah.
to eat with you, but
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
not that part. No.
not
I
that
was
part.
I was okay eating by myself. I didn't care.
But yeah, my freshman year was pretty fun.
Mhm. I think it really depends on what you want out of college, and I think for the most part, I agree with what Suzie and Matt has said so far. Like, I don't think you should date freshman year. I don't think you should restrain yourself from meeting new people, and definitely eating by yourself is not like a weird thing. Like, I ate by myself because I lived in like kind of the outer edge of campus where like the professors lived because they ran out of housing for incoming freshmen, so they placed me there. So I was already away from everyone who was a freshman. I was just around a bunch of old people. So whenever I had to go eat, I would eat by myself anyways. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with eating by yourself. But I guess in terms of what I would change about freshman year is if I could change, I would change where I lived, first of all, just because it was so far. And I had to make an effort to go out and meet new people, and like it was very tiring.
That was true.
But I would also I feel like I would also go to a lot more school related stuff. Like I went to a football game, like the opening football game, stuff like that. But I feel like especially if you're at a school that you're very proud to be at, I feel like you should get involved with things that are related with the school at least a couple times so that you have, I guess, merit to say, I've enjoyed school. You know what I mean? Like you can meet many people and you can have an amazing time, amazing grades, get a good degree. But if you weren't part of, let's say, like a basketball game, and I don't know, Purdue's got some good players now, like going into the league. And like if you say you're from Purdue, it's like, oh, have you seen him while he was playing in college? You're like, no, then you're kind of like missing out. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the school culture. I feel like, or like going to like some of the signature restaurants nearby, or doing some of the traditional stuff, whatever your school does. I think maybe doing it at least once or twice to say that you are a part of it at one point gives you a bit more pride, I guess, in the school. I guess that's something I would have done more, like be more involved with the school and do things. Because I feel like when you grow older, when you look back on it, you're just like, yeah, who would do that? That's very immature. But when you're freshman, sophomore year, everything's new and it's meant for the freshmen. You know what I mean? Like things happen for the freshmen. Like they do these traditional things for the freshmen, or they do these events for the freshmen to get more assimilated into the community of the school. And if you don't take part, it's like you're missing out, I feel like. So
Right.
I feel like incoming high school students, like, don't shy away from big events that your school holds, especially if it's for like newcomers or freshmen, because like you're probably gonna have a good time and meet new people.
It might be cringy too, but
Yeah.
do it. Because we have something at Purdue called the Fountain Run,
Oh yeah,
and you
I
literally.
never did that.
I
I
never
did
did
it.
that either.
I did it 100%, bro. Took my shirt
I
off, ran
didn't
with
do
like
it
five
'cause I
guys
thought it was stupid.
around all the
But-
fountains. Went into the other fountain. It was
Yeah.
just like lit.
So basically, what you do is you run in your you wear like whatever you want, but basically you run through a fountain and like you keep running through all the fountains at Purdue, and like
Yeah.
you get wet or whatever, and you like
There's,
just
like, a
do
course.
it together.
Mhm.
And then like I never did it because I was like, this is so stupid. Like, why would I, like put on my swim trunks and run around
Yeah.
campus like an idiot in jumping through water? But like looking back on it, I probably should have done that. Like who
Mhm.
knows what it could have happened. So like that's one example. Like Purdue
Yeah.
had that tradition. So
That's fun, at least for me. But you step on rocks, it kind of hurts.
because you go barefoot because you
Yeah.
don't want to like make your shoes wet.
You don't want to
So-
step on people too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's stuff like that. I
Good
think.
advice, guys.
Get involved with your colleges.
Good advice. So in conclusion, live more like Suzie.
Yes.
But except for the sus part. Yeah.
Except for,
I was a sus.
don't ask random Korean looking dudes to eat to eat lunch.
If anything, if you're a girl, ask a girl.
Yeah.
Like that'll give
it was
less.
just in front of me. That's why
less
I asked. I
implications
didn't
of-
have any purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
But eat dinner together. I remember a lot of good memories eating together with like all your
Yeah.
friends. So yeah.
Mm.
And if you don't have friends, get friends.
Make friends. Touch some grass.
Cut some grass. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on to our next thing
Hey.
because we are going over time again.
Woo, it's
Yeah.
all right.
But it's all
We're
good.
chilling.
Whatever. It's the last episode. So
For the season. Not
for
the
season,
podcast.
for the season, sorry. For like some context, this is a topic actually that we filmed, but the file got corrupted.
You
And
may
we never
remember
actually. Oh, they
episode-
remember. Yeah, we never
episode
actually
6,
like.
I had a little message saying
Yeah.
that we got like 30 minutes of footage deleted because the file corrupted.
So we're gonna bring it back, and we're gonna talk about it
Hey.
again. So we're gonna go through, and each one of us are gonna give a strength of each other.
Oh
So
my god.
me, Suzie, and Joe, we're all gonna give a strength of each other, and then we're also gonna give a weakness.
Yeah. I guess this is just so
And
that
you guys can comment if you agree or disagree or have more weaknesses. Yeah, this is our
Yeah.
opinion because we know each other for a long time. So I guess at least 4 years.
'cause a lot of people are like, do you guys really like each other? Do you guys really hate each other? Like, I feel like some people aren't sure of our actual
I don't
dynamic.
like you guys.
towards each other. So this will be a little more revealing, I think, on our stance on for each
Is
other.
it? Okay.
She,
I don't know.
it might reinforce their thinking. Yeah, they hate each other.
Last time we were pretty brutally honest with each other.
Yeah, we were very
It
honest.
was like awkward after.
Hey,
Because
now
it was like
is the
so
time.
it was so true, and we're all
now
like,
is the time.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna go through. We're gonna do strengths first. We're gonna keep it light, and then we'll get deep.
Or
later,
should
and
we
then-
go weakness first and then
Oh.
end
Should
with
we?
strength? Because
I don't
like
know
I
if I
feel like ending on a weakness is like weird.
I was like, you suck.
and we're like, bye guys.
Okay, then we should do
Weakness
weaknesses.
first, man.
Wait, so who we're starting with?
I don't remember though. I have to think about
I
it.
remember what I
Joseph?
said about Suzie, but I don't remember. Actually, I remember what I said both about you, Suzie and Joe.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember I felt kind of bad.
Matt's.
We can start with Joseph.
Okay,
Weakness.
Oh, weakness about
So-
me? All right, go ahead.
yeah. So we'll start. So wait, you want to go first, Suzie, or should I go first?
I'll go first.
Okay,
It's not
well,
even that bad.
Give it
Jump
to me.
in.
Like I said last time,
hmm
they don't know what you said.
You've also mentioned this yourself, but
Mhm.
sometimes you're like not the best at communicating or reaching out. So at times it kind of confuses me on where we stand as friends. Just
Mm.
because of the lack of reaching out. I mean, this is on me too. I feel like I'm also not the best, but just like
Like, give it to you. It's fine.
yeah, just like
I'm not gonna cry.
yeah.
F you.
Just like
You'll cry
reaching
later. You'll
out.
cry later.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
not now.
I'm gonna go to cry and sleep tonight. You know,
Just not reaching out, and even like when we like talk,
Mhm.
it's just like it's not like we like talk after to like check up on each other. So it kind of confuses me on where we stand as friends sometimes, or like how much you care for me.
I'm not sincere, huh?
I didn't say that.
All right.
Jesus.
But it confuses
I
me
see that. I see that.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing.
But at the end, I know, you know, we are there for each other. I know that.
It
but
took some
it's just-
time, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's a story with that too. Oh, that can
So-
come another, or we can tell it now if you want to.
No.
Do we?
Segueing.
We ever talked
What-
about
sorry.
it?
What story? Wait, I don't know what story this is.
Is it the one she called at 3 a.m. for?
5 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
5 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, we can talk about that another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another episode. But to kind of segue into what Susie said, I think like a part of that communication part, Joe
Mhm.
always talks about how he wants a girlfriend.
Yes.
Not in a weird way. I know that sounds
Dude,
very
that's
weird.
weird because Joseph's never told me that before. Like Joseph actually, okay, like we talked
No,
about
that's
it, but
that's a guy thing to talk about.
Well, I feel like we've
Okay.
talked about it when we went to Chicago. No?
oh, that's true. But that's
But
like
yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah, it's like Joseph always wants Joseph like wants a girlfriend, or like, okay, so when I mentioned that, it's like he would like to find a girlfriend very soon. Let me put it that way. And
I am single.
he is single, yes, and he is always ready to mingle, but he doesn't like communicate well, and he doesn't show up to things. So he knows that he wants a girlfriend. He knows that he's not good at communicating. He knows that he doesn't show up to anything, but then he still wonders why he has a girlfriend. So then me and Susie were always talking to each other. We're like, we went to a study session, and he actually just studied the whole time.
Wait, I didn't
Like,
even know Joseph was there.
Yeah, we forgot he was there.
Because he sat away from everyone. He just
Yeah,
sat at his island. And I was like, what is going
Hey,
on?
man. It was a study
And
session.
then we got one time somebody ordered like Korean corn. Susie, didn't you do it?
It was me.
Yeah. So Susie ordered Korean hot dogs for everybody. I don't know where she found this place, but it was kind of cool, right? And then she asked Susie, but she asked Joe, but she had to go up to Joe and be like, "Hey, Joe." And then she
No.
finally looked up. He was like, "What?"
No,
He was
dude,
like, "You want a hot dog?" He's like, "Yeah." And then
then
he
whenever
ate the
the-
hot dog by himself.
No, whenever the corn dog came,
Oh.
I was like, Joseph, here's your hot dog. He didn't even look up. He went, I was like, what the? He like told me to put the hot dog down on the table. I was like, okay.
No, and okay, so don't get me wrong, like that's a very good trait of Joe, where like he's very studious and he's very focused on his work. Like he's
Focused,
very
yes.
disciplined in that. That's a very good trait. I think wish I was more like that. But at the same time, if everyone's talking and everyone's having a good time eating corn dogs, stop sitting at your desk and go talk to a girl or talk to a dude, or come to the circle. Because remember, we're in that big circle. Remember, we're in that big circle, and then we're all just eating.
Yes, I remember
And
that.
Joe was eating corn dog by himself in the corner. So that's my only thing. That's like my one weakness, I think, of Joe is just like, I think Joe is very aware, but
I don't act upon it, huh?
he doesn't act
And,
upon that
like,
awareness. Yeah.
And like almost make it seems like you're not easily approachable, but you are. Like when you talk to you, when we talk to you, it's like you're easy to talk to, but it's just like it might not seem like it. But I mean, like people will figure it out. So I don't even think it's like that.
It's not a huge, but like that's like one thing I noticed.
I get it. I get that a lot
It was
though.
like-
Whenever I start talking to people I haven't talked to a while or I've never talked to before, they're like, "Oh, you're like not what I expect." I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" There's like, "I thought you're just like not someone who talks." I'm just like, it's probably because I was studying. Yeah. I get that. I agree. Who we talking about next?
Now that
I'll take
feelings
the
have been-
hint. I'll take.
Oh, we're
the
talking about
hint.
Susie.
Yeah.
I know I have my answer.
All right, you can start, Matt.
Well, let me pull up my list. Let me see here.
Let me bring some tissues before you guys start.
Oh yeah, let's take an intermission before we.
You might need an ice pack.
I've talked to Suzie about this before, but when Suzie gets interested in something, like not just like a hobby, or like if it's anything, like maybe it's a dude or like it's like a activity.
Just say it's
or,
a dude.
No. It hasn't been. It has recently. It hasn't been. Anyways, like whenever she gets interested in something, it's very difficult for her to like stick with like. Okay, so I don't know how to explain this without giving an example. So like, I just feel like when Suzie finds something new, she kind of just jumps for it and sticks to it and forgets everything else. So like, let's say she meets some like a new friend group, she'll completely forget about me or Joe because she's so interested in that friend group. It's not like she does it because she's like, oh, screw Matt, I found someone better. But it's like, oh, these people are really fun, I'm gonna spend time with them. But then like she kind of forgets about like I say the OGs, but whatever, you can say whatever.
Oh, gee.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, and then me, who like really didn't, like for us who didn't do anything wrong, we're kind of just like, well, why isn't she reaching out? Why isn't she hanging out with us? And we're kind of like, but it, like, I learned, like, oh, give her like, 3 months and then she'll come back, like, or something like, or like, like, it's like, it's she doesn't mean it in a malicious way. She's not like, she doesn't hate you. She doesn't dislike you. It's just, she's focused on that. And that's just how it is. But I think that was like a weakness that that I saw about Suzie. Cause like, I was like, there were times where I got annoyed and I told her, I was like, I got kind of annoyed because I felt like we were really close and then something happened and then all of a sudden we're not close. But in actuality, like, you didn't mean it. It's just kind of how it happened and how I interpreted it. So that was like, that's one thing I would say. That's one on my list. You can go, Joe, and then I'll go through the rest of it.
I think for me, what I said, and I think is still the same. What I like think, it's not like I dislike Suzie. Okay, I find a weakness in Suzie is that she doesn't like take advice to heart that well. And for example, like this is similar to Matt. Like when she's diving into something that's toxic or something that's not good for her, whether it be physically, mentally, socially, or whatever, like Matt and I will be there and we'll try to talk her out of it, be like, hey, you need to, do this to be more healthy, or you need to eat more, you need to not see this guy, or you need to stop drinking, or whatever, like whatever advice we give her and whatever signs that we see coming, she completely knows. She's like, no, you don't understand. Like, or
okay, well, no. I'm not like, no.
I don't know about that.
No. She just says, "Oh, okay," and then just keeps
doing she just doesn't ignore. I'm like, no, like I like sometimes it's like, wake up, like you need to understand you're doing something wrong, or like vice versa. If she's interested in a guy, right, and she has these feelings for this guy, and she's like, the guy just doesn't like me back or has no feelings towards me, and like guy clearly does, and she just doesn't see the signs. Like, Suzie, wake up, like, can you not, like, I get it, it's hard to see maybe in that kind of scenario, but like she just kind of things just go over her head sometimes, and that just kind of frustrates me because we like lay it on the plate really nicely and like we set up the table, like, here you go, like you need to do this, and you're like, screw it, you just like flip the table. So like sometimes I feel like you're hard to get through with that, but that that's gotten better for sure. But I think overall you tend to do that a little bit. And
like, I know like we stopped at some point and it's not like we didn't care about you. It's just like we felt like we were pissing you off. Like, because then we didn't want to be like your mom or your dad, I guess. But you know what I mean? Like, we didn't want to do that. So like we were kind of like, all right, we should just mind our own business.
Yeah, let her be.
And like, I literally when she
told
comes,
Matt, I'm like, let her do her. Like, let her just do whatever she wants.
Yeah,
we tried.
This makes Suzie seem like a very bad person. No,
I know. It's like it makes it look like you guys are like releasing me into the public.
No, but it's like, because like I think I kind of sympathize because I'm also very stubborn, and that's probably what they're gonna mention. But I'm very stubborn as well, and like so it's like
I forgot we haven't even said like a strength yet.
It's just weaknesses. There's a lot of strengths, but anyways, we'll keep moving along, I guess.
So it's Matt's turn, huh? Okay.
Suzie, you can start.
Did you
with
point
that.
out the list or?
Wait, what did I say last
Oh,
time?
let me just.
Actually,
pull up
I
my
really
list.
agreed with Susie's last time.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's like this might be just Matt's personality.
Uh-oh.
Someone just knocked on my door, I think. This might be like Matt's personality, but I think Matt is like too quick to judge sometimes.
Mm.
And this can be a good or a bad thing, but I'm saying it as a weakness just because like I think people deserve second chances, and I don't think you can know people or things, you know, by talking to them or like doing it once. Like I think especially people like, yeah, maybe like they might give off a bad vibe, but if you like
Mhm.
talk to them more, you might, you know, get to know them. But I feel like since Matt has like talked to a lot of people, so he kind of like when he like likes to go off of what he already knows, and kind of he's like, well, he like kind of puts his board up. He's like, well, I don't think I like this vibe, but I think
Mhm.
they might deserve a second chance, you know? So I feel like sometimes he's quick to judge sometimes, but yeah, that's what I think of.
Mm. Oh, I can see that.
But I
My
think
freshman
it's
year,
good. Yeah.
my freshman year, I did that a lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was about to say I think it's gotten better, but that's just like what I would say.
Mm. Yeah, I would kind of agree on that as well. But for me, I think for Matt, I've talked to Matt about this before. It's not like I don't think it's really a weakness, but it's a trait that Matt has that tends to make him unlikable. Is that you talk, you like ramble a lot. Like you talk on and on and on, and sometimes it gets to the point where you're trying to lighten the mood or you're trying to keep the vibe up by cracking jokes and your go-to is like making fun of people. And when that goes a little too far, I feel like sometimes you don't see that and you just keep on talking and keep on, you know, perpetuating the conversation. And that doesn't help the fact that you just roasted someone a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's for sure gotten way better, but I feel like early sophomore year was probably when I noticed when I was hanging out with Matt. I like, even for me, I got pretty annoyed. I was like, Matt, why are you like roasting people? Like, it's kind of rude. And like, for sometimes I think he didn't see that coming. Like, it was all in good intention. He didn't actually like, you know, roast anyone to like embarrass anyone, but that's just Matt's go-to like way of lightening the mood. Or
and I feel that because I used to be like that. Like when there was like an awkward like silence, I felt like I had to like say something. So I'll just like say whatever. And like I don't mean what I say. I just like start talking. But I think that's
But it's gotten better for now. I think back then you were just so excited to be like.
Wait, didn't I say something mean about you, Suzie? And I remember I apologized to you. I actually don't remember what I said. I just remember I apologized because like, but I don't. I forgot what it was about. Honestly, I just remember like Joe brought it up, and then it made a lot of sense, and I was like, oh shoot, I fucked up.
It was probably during some conversation or whatever.
Yeah, but honestly,
it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of roast people too hard sometimes.
Yeah, I roast people. That's my humor. Yeah.
But it's better now. It's way better now. All right, let's do some strings. Woo!
I hope so.
I
don't want to anymore.
y'all suck.
I want to go home. I am home. Something I like about Suzie.
Well, let's go Joseph first.
Oh yeah, Joseph.
Since it was like in order.
Okay.
All right. Compliment me.
I think this still stands since last time I talked about it, but Joseph is like, it's like relating to his weakness, but I know like it, like the weakness cancels out because of your strength, because I know you are there for people. Like if this is like your friend and if this is like someone you care for, like I know you might not express it, but like you're there for them, like in heart. Like I know that like you are that person who is like who has your friend's back. You just don't express it, and I think that's a strength. Like whenever I was going through a breakup, I don't think Joseph like really knew what to say to me, and I was just like laying down, and I think I was like kind of tearing up, whatever, at the library. And Joseph didn't even know how to talk to me, so he texted me. He was like, "Are you okay?"
It's awkward talking to people.
Yeah, and you're
Dude,
like, "Do you want candy?"
Oh, I remember that. I actually remember that.
And he like brought Takis from home. But
Remember,
yeah,
remember you
remember
were
that.
looking at me, Joe. You were like, "Oh, why does she want?" And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Go!"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh," just left.
He's like, "I brought Takis," and I was like, "Okay."
I don't think she even wanted Takis. You
But
want?
yeah,
That's all I had.
it was. I just know
Yeah.
that you're there for your friends. Yeah,
Thank you.
Mhm. Matt.
You kind of stole mine.
Oh, well,
But
Hey,
there
double up.
are much better things about Joe. But I think one thing is like, yeah, I think Joe really does care about his friends. I think also what I appreciate about Joe is that, like he mentioned before, he's not afraid to mention on your BS. Kind of like, yo, Matt, stop. Like you really, really insulted her, or you really, really offended her or him. Like you should apologize. This is why. And what I appreciate about Joe in that moment was he didn't just say you're wrong. He said, "You're wrong. Here's why." And I think the "here's why" part is so important because, like it kind of frames it and makes it more easier for that person to understand without feeling too offended or like that you're just hating on them. So I really do. I think that's a big strength of Joe that I think I really appreciate to this day. And I guess another thing too, kind of just go on a different scale is, especially like, I think like Joe's very good at simplifying things or not like making a big deal out of something that shouldn't be a big deal. Because I think I've talked to him many times about so many, because I'm a very emotional person, so I get very like heated at the moment. I'm like, yo, what the like this sucks, right? This is wrong. I don't like this attitude. And he's kind of like, it's not a big deal, here's why. Like I think he's very good at keeping it very chill. So I think that's like, as a leader, you really appreciate that, because I think when you're in any leadership position, you can get really, really passionate and really, really emotional about certain things. But Joe's very good at kind of seeing through that emotion and understanding the real thing. It's like, oh, he definitely thought that way. Because, like they mentioned before, like I sometimes like have a preconceived notion. I'm like, oh, this person's this way. And he was kind of like, maybe it was just a bad day. Or maybe, they were going through something, right? Or, hey, they're going through something right now. Let's, don't worry about that. I think Joe's very good at kind of seeing the underlying emotion part. So I think that's like, I would say, a strength of Joe. Very good at like cutting through the emotion and seeing the real problem. That's what I would say.
Thanks, man.
Okay, my turn.
she been waiting, huh? All right, so one strength about Matt is
She's like, what? No, Suzie.
I don't remember what I said last time.
Silent.
We can end the episode here.
Suzie.
Wow, we're really going over time.
It's fine. No, we started late.
Oh, okay.
I think one thing for Suzie, for me, like not, I feel like I've never met. That's a stretch, but I've never met anyone quite like Suzie in my life. not because she's a girl, but like
I've never met a girl before.
Susie's background and her personality is so unique. It kind of brings something different out of me. When I first met Suzie, I always joke at like how we met or we first like got to know each other and whatnot. It was very awkward, but I really do value the fact that Suzie got me into it, all the things she did at Purdue. And like when you're with Suzie, she kind of brings a different side of you that I usually can't bring out myself. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's not that I'm like a different person, but it's like I did not realize I enjoyed these things, or I did not realize, someone could have fun in this way. And the things that Suzie goofs around about and has fun about, I did not realize I would enjoy. I really valued that because I like give a lot of credit to Suzie for bringing our friend group together in college. I feel like without Suzie, it just wouldn't have worked out. Which is why she's also on this podcast. Like everything that comes to mind in my head socially, Susie's always part of it somehow. Like, and she's made it work out. I really appreciate it. That's one of her strengths. Like she draws people in together And I think that's one of the reasons why her stream is also very successful. Is like people enjoy just being, with her and spending time.
Dude, that's so
around her.
nice.
Yeah, like I generally feel like that's true.
So then why don't you hang out with her more?
That's not her problem. That's my problem. See, she's good at bringing people in. I'm bad at going to the place. So it's not her fault for sure. I can say that. But yeah, that's how I felt, at least.
I 100% agree. I think I always mention to people like at our club back in Purdue, like who brought you to Cornerstone, or who who reaches out the most to people, and like I always say Suzie, because it was true at the time, and it's still true to this day. Like, Suzie always reached out to people, always made people feel comfortable. And I know she mentioned before that she's not as like outgoing as she was, but when she does talk to somebody in Cornerstone, I really feel like they really enjoy the conversation. They really value what she has to say. And I always said that, like, as a leader, the most important people in Cornerstone isn't me. It isn't the leaders. It's people like Suzie, who are willing to reach out and willing to be open and to really to bring people in, right? Because when they see a leader be nice, they're kind of like, oh, they're nice, but it's their job. But when they see a member that has no reason to, like Suzie doing something, they're all like, whoa, wait, this is different. This club's different. So I really value like Suzie's just ability to make people feel comfortable and just like chill. I think that's a big, trait about Suzie that I really enjoy. And then I really admire how like she views family. I think myself could do a better job with that. And I think this is kind of like maybe like my envy almost. I think I really I'm not super close with my family, I would say, like to that level. And like, I don't talk to everyone in my family like that. And I kind of I wish I can, or I'm trying to do better every single day. But I think that's one thing that I really like admire about Suzie, just how like family focused she is and just how much she loves her family, despite, like, of course, the ups and downs and everything going on. Like she really just holds family really tightly. I think I really admire her about that. That's a huge strength, I think, for her. Very loyal, very loyal.
She doesn't judge. I feel like that makes her approachable. So to add on, I guess.
No judgment zone.
Yeah.
Except if it's us.
Except if you reach a point where she starts, giving you BS. it flips.
Oh, so nice.
She doesn't like it. She's like,
all right, that's the end of the podcast.
now we're ending, huh?
All right, guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah, Matthew Bae.
I can go first.
Alrighty.
I think Matt is kind of a friend that like you can bring to anywhere and he'll be able to talk to anybody. Like if I had if I was like if I had to like bring a friend to like a gathering or something, like you can bring Matt and then he like won't make it awkward because he can just talk to anybody. And I think that's one thing I admire about Matt, or like I guess like envy, because since like my personality is just kind of, I don't know, it's like weird now. It's like changed. It's like sometimes hard for me to like talk to people first or like find something to talk about sometimes. I feel like Matt really doesn't have a problem with that. It's like he can easily talk to people, relate to people somehow, and just like, talk to them. And I think that's a really big strength because, well, especially with like even in like business scenes, like you'll be able to like talk to them, and like that's a big strength. I feel like you can just talk to anybody. Yeah. Without feeling awkward.
A lot of people say that about Matt. Like that's like a universal Matt Bae thing, being able to talk to people. For me, it's similar. I feel like for me, it's a bit more personal. I feel like Matt, as a friend to me, he understands me to a point where he can kind of get what I'm thinking and he's able to act upon it without me asking him to. If, for example, like, let's say I want to have people over, like I've never told Matt, hey, Matt, can you ask people to come to my place? Like I've never asked Matt a single time. But literally almost every weekend, I think like the second half of last semester, he was like, yeah, we're going to Joe's place this weekend. Like he knows that I'm down to have people over to hang out, but he knows that I can't act upon it, or I just don't have, I guess, the skill to casually bring it up. So Matt just does it for me. And I find that so I appreciate that a lot about Matt. And I feel like Matt, that's like unique to me, but I feel like Matt is the type of person where he'll want to get to know you to a point where there's like that internal connection with you, like a
Right.
personal relationship, and like he's able to interpret how you feel or what you want, and he's able to act upon it without you verbally saying it to him. And that's like a very hard skill to have, because I feel like most people are surface level and they're just like mutual friends, or they're just acquaintances, and you just say hi or what's up, and you just talk about how your day was. But Matt like really wants to know how your day was, you know what I mean? And that's like something not a lot of people have. It's pretty unique.
Mm.
So yeah.
And it's like, I feel like Matt like talks to a lot of people, or like knows a lot of people, and I feel like personally sometimes it gets tiring to like keep in touch with so many people.
Yeah.
But I feel like, Matt's able to do that. I mean,
Keep
it might
up.
be tiring for him too, like we don't know, but I just like from our point of view, it's like
yeah. It's incredible.
Mm.
Well, if you want to know.
Well, actually, I hate it.
Yeah, it's not tiring. It's like it's like the extra thought you put in to take it to the next level.
Mm.
Like when like I want to get to like, if I want to know how Susie's doing, like I'm not just gonna like I'm not gonna push it, but I'm gonna ask, right? Like, hey, how's everything going, right? I'll do that the same thing with anybody. But there's also some people who don't like being asked that.
Mm.
So you have to understand that as well. They're kind of somebody that they rather talk in person, so don't ask until you see them in person.
Right.
So like there's people like that. So it's just like extra effort, but yeah, it's not tiring. I'm not like, oh god, therapist.
You never stress out.
No, it doesn't ever stress me out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, that's great. We made ourselves feel good and bad. Each other.
To wrap things up for the episode, let's mention, because it is the last episode for the season. So I think to end, we could probably mention one episode, our favorite episode so far. For those who are listening for the first time, I guess one recommendation from the 11 episodes we've had up until now. What was your favorite? And then also next season, one episode that you want to do, like topic.
Okay.
Think maybe we do something, but so one you like the most and what you want to do in the future.
Okay. Let's keep it kind of short though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're going
bam and bam.
Okay.
The episodes that Suzie was not in, those are my favorite.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, got it. Gotcha.
Which was the one that Suzie fell asleep in?
Oh
that was
my
either
god.
3 or 4.
That was a good episode. I thought, like, in combination with that
topic,
that incident.
For me personally.
Sorry.
No,
No,
go ahead.
you can
Suzie.
go ahead.
Oh.
I think I really liked our first episode.
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing.
No.
Yeah, that's why I went first.
Yeah, of course you guys like that episode.
Yeah, because it was just like, I don't know, it was like a start of it, and I thought it was just very interesting.
The first
Why do
episode.
you guys want people to listen to the first episode?
No, the first one was very raw. Like you can tell it was our first time.
Very raw.
But also the topic we talked about was very, I guess, indicative of our relationship for each other. So it's very interesting for us to talk about it, and I think that was one of the more genuine episodes we've had so far.
That was a really good episode.
Yeah, not to tone down any of the other episodes. Like all of them were pretty nice, but that one to start off was a banger. And whoever gave us the recommendation,
I do think that first one, because it went so well, helped us do the second one, and then helped us do the third one, and then fourth. And now we're this is our 12th episode now.
Yeah,
crazy. Like
I think,
but it's because we started off so well. I think I definitely can agree with that. But quickly, a topic that I would like to do next semester.
Go ahead.
Next season is I watched this again. I didn't watch it again, but I saw it and someone was mentioning to it. I overheard someone talk about it, like Strangers Again. Do you guys remember, not Stranger Things, but Strangers Again? It's like that Wong Fu clip.
Oh yeah, where
it's like it goes through like they dated, right? And they broke up, and then they're strangers, right? So they were friends, lovers, strangers. Or no, so strangers, lovers,
dating,
or strangers, friends, lovers, and then strangers again. I wonder, like, how I want to hear your guys' perspective, because I think we've all maybe not like through relationships, but it could be anything like friendships too. Like, how is it from going from strangers to
Mhm.
strangers again?
Mm.
And I think that would be an interesting topic to talk about. That's what I would like.
Sure.
I think for me, I want to answer like I think it'll be fun to answer like popular questions like just like short questions like for example like can guys and girls be friends? Like I like I liked it whenever we like answered like those like popular questions that we could talk about. I
Mhm.
think that'll be fun to hear our opinions on it.
Like personality
rapid fire
tests,
questions.
Yeah, kind of.
like personality tests,
Yeah.
favorite movie or whatever.
Yeah. Just like
Yeah.
quick. Yeah.
Just a bunch of general icebreakers. We could do another one of those
Yeah.
question videos.
Oh, here's a good one. I have a good one. Like,
What?
is it better if your ex is doing better or worse?
Ooh.
Yeah. Or like
Save
if you
that.
get cheated
Yeah,
on with
yeah.
someone who looks better than you or worse. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
What? That's a question.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they cheat on me with somebody better looking, I'm just like, oh, well, it is what it is. No, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
For me, I really do. It's similar to Matt. I really do like because Matt suggested this. Maybe talking about friend zoning. I feel like
Mhm.
that's a subject we can all maybe relate to, and
Mhm.
the peoples can relate to our experiences or our thoughts on friend zoning people and whether or not you can get out of the friend zone.
Or maybe
But
how
more-
to properly friend zone.
Yeah, that too. Like, how do you just? Yeah, you're in the friend zone.
And how do you
Um,
accept the friend zone?
Yeah, how do you
Yeah.
deal with that is also another thing. And then a little more chill one, maybe like if we like all watch a movie, like not on the podcast, but like separately,
Yeah.
and like we just review it,
And talk about
like-
it. Yeah.
like stuff like that. Like just do some casual stuff. You throw it in there, just so that it's more of a daily thing instead of a deep, thought-provoking topic. Keep it more chill.
Yeah.
But who knows what we'll be doing second season. I don't think it's not gonna be like a brand new rebrand or anything like that. We're still gonna probably be doing the same thing. It's just so that people can navigate episodes better, and maybe we can shift our focus more to a general audience instead of focusing on very random, narrow topics. So let us know if you have any thoughts on what we should do second season, how we can maybe restructure, or maybe some themes we can talk about.
Yeah.
But other than that, this will wrap season 1.
Thank you guys so much. It's been
If
crazy.
you-
12
yeah.
episodes.
If you listen to all 12 episodes, you're actually like
You're
an
a
OG.
G.
Better than me.
Yeah,
I know.
Someone
was-
slept through an episode. And if you enjoyed it, like it, and also share it with people, man. Like we've been getting some spikes in our views, so we're hoping to maybe reach 100 subscribers at some point. That'll be a milestone. So share the love if you think someone else would get something out of from listening to our podcast. By
Oh,
all
shout out to
means.
Joe Kim from Calvary.
Yeah, not me.
What?
That
I was
joke,
like,
yeah.
what? He's right here.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of Joseph Kims in this world.
Yeah, I ain't unique. And also, I mean, I was willing to throw this out there. If you guys feel like you have a catchphrase that we can say that'll
Shut
wrap
up.
up.
We're not doing a cat.
No, I feel like we gotta have some sort of like phrase, you know what I mean, to represent. Because like Matt said earlier, like, what if someone asks, what is SUJOBAE about? Like, what are you gonna say? You know what I mean? Like, we're not just gonna be like all the topics, you know what I mean? So that's just a thought. But the next episode isn't gonna be like next year or anything. Like, it'll come relatively quickly.
Soon.
So it's
Very
not
soon.
like you have to wait too long for the next season. But until then, we'll see you all later.
Bye.